Good evening, ladies and gentlemen, and welcome to the halfway point of the Simsport Racing Assetto Corsa Competizione GT4 Season 1, Round 3. We're here at Kyalami for what's going to be a fantastic encounter over the next 45 minutes of racing. And joining me, as always, my name's Alex Goldschmidt, and I have alongside me, as always, Simsport Racing's Steve Bradley. Good evening, Steve. How are you?
Good evening, Alex. I'm very, very well, thank you very much. And as usual, looking forward to some good racing tonight at Kyalami. Some of the times the guys are setting are all pretty close to each other, so hopefully it's going to turn into some good racing tonight. Very much the case,
as we have a fantastic 4.529 kilometre, 16-turn circuit based in Midrand in the Gauteng region, which was opened back in November 1961. But also, Steve, we have two other tracks to contend with in the next couple of weeks. We've got Laguna Seca in a week's time, and then we've also got Zolder as the season finale on the 26th of August. But then, Season 3 GT3 comes back into action this coming weekend at Monza for the 90-minute endurance. There's a heck of a lot going on with Simsport Racing, isn't there?
There is, yes. There's the GT3 Championship, which is, like as you say, going to Monza, which is going to be a very exciting race, very fast, suit the top faster cars. And then obviously the GT4 Championship is steaming on now as a weekly event. So the guys are pretty much behind the wheel practicing, because a lot of these guys are taking part in both championships. And then let's not forget, we've got the charity race that we're all planning on October the 3rd, and that charity we're racing for is Mind, and I believe we're looking to open that up to the public on the 14th of this month, so sign-ups will open on the 14th for public teams.
Especially that'll be the 12-hour Nürburgring race, if memory serves me correctly.
It is. It's a 12-hour race. Sorry to interrupt you, Alex. It's going to be 12 hours of real time, but the times multiplier will be on 2, so effectively it's a 24-hour race.
So dual class, GT3 and GT4 for a fantastic charity, which is supporting Mind for better mental health. And obviously with the names that were thrown into the air last week when you and I were talking about it. But we're looking forward to a really, really good grid this coming evening at Kyalami. And Steve, just tell us about some of the idiosyncrasies about this as well. As you can now see, the website is up and running. There you go. It gives you all the relevant information that you need. Race with us, GT3 League, GT4 League, the events calendar, race forms, and even what is on the calendar.
Yeah, you can really see it's a one sort of hit place to go to, just to get every piece of information really that you need to know with regards to what's going on at Simsport. We've obviously got past race results, we've got upcoming events, we've got the championship standings. There's a little bit on there about the charity event, and then as we're just seeing now, there is obviously the admin and managers that are involved with Simsport and what their roles are, and a little bit of background about the team that you potentially, if you wanted to join us, you're getting involved with. And obviously, as we've always said, we welcome anybody of any ability. We really do take everybody in, and you know, if you need some assistance with that, there's plenty of guys to give assistance. If you just want to turn up and chat. If you want to race, join in and race. It's just a community.
Well, as you can see on your screens there, the results from the Hungaroring last time out, where Aaron Walker has put the cat amongst the pigeons, and he started to get away from everyone. He took the win last time out, but there we have the updated table. Aaron Walker and Cody Pride separated by 21 points. Regan Mitchell in the sole Maserati in the field, running out the top 3 ahead of Dave Hedges. Chris Crossman, Tim Fulbrook with a podium last time out in the Janetta G55, up to P6 in the standings ahead of Adam Isalovic. Stephen Haley, Kieran Vidago and Johan Pedersen. So as you can see, we have hopefully a 27-strong grid. This will be the biggest grid that we've had so far, Steve, and I'm really looking forward to it because it's so all over the place. You know, when you think that you got Tim Fulbrook, he's starting 14th. You know, I can't see Aaron Walker on the list.
Yeah, Aaron's down in 16th because it's based on last week's obviously race finishing positions. So all the guys behind him either didn't race last week or didn't finish the race, or they're new to the championship. So he finished first and he's now in 16th place for the start of this race.
So we have a 45 minutes encounter. No mandatory pit stop. It will be full throttle from green light to checkered flag. And just looking at the brands that we have actually in this. Now there's 11 brands. So we've got Porsche, Aston Martin, Mercedes, Ginetta, Alpine, Audi, BMW, Chevy. We've got Maserati, which is the only one, which is Regan Mitchell. We've got the KTM Crossbow with Aaron Martin Pilkington. And there are 10 out of the 11 brands. I don't remember which one is the one that I'm missing on this list. But I'm sure that at some point we'll probably remember that in due course.
I was going to try and help you out there, but I'm struggling myself, to be honest. I'm looking at the brands and I'm trying to think which one it is that we're missing.
You know what? I'm just going to have a look and see what cars are actually on there. Because I mean, it's a while since it was being revealed, if I'm completely honest. So
no, we have got all 11 on there.
Because we've got the McLaren as well, haven't we?
Yeah, the McLaren's further down with Ranjiv.
Yeah, every single solitary GT4 car on the DLC pack is on this grid. And apparently there are 27 cars due to enter. We've got 24 showing up on the timing screens. Looks like Ames Walker has already got the cheers in for Aaron before we've even gotten started.
He's going to need those cheers tonight, I believe, Alex, because obviously we've got Stephen Haley back on the grid, who seems a man that can challenge Aaron when he needs to. So in practice this week, I believe Steve's just been shading some of the lap times and beating Aaron. Literally, I mean, we're talking tenths, not even 2 tenths, probably just a tenth of a second is between those two guys. So yeah, he needs all the support he can get tonight if he's going to repeat last week, I believe.
And the week before.
Yeah.
So he better not count his chickens before they hatch. I must completely admit here, because in the 99 Porsche, he's been the one that's been the standout really so far.
He's been the standout driver, I believe, but Dave Hedges, he's been a battler. He's fought for every position he's got as Dave, and he's had some good finishes. Chris Crossman was very, very unlucky last week. He got caught out in 2 incidents that were pretty much unavoidable and out of his control, which sort of put paid to him finishing in the top 3, I believe, last week. So Chris will be looking for some points tonight, and obviously starting in 9th place on the grid tonight. So he's got a bit of an advantage over Aaron and Dave and Steve, certainly.
Very much the case. But we haven't got that long, I think, until we get the race going. But Monza GT3 coming at this weekend, Steve. 90 minutes. And that is one fantastic circuit. It's known for Formula One, but it's also got a heart. It's got its heart well and truly set with GT3 machinery. Wouldn't you agree?
I would, yeah, and I think Monza, isn't that the track where you win the race at turn 1? That's it's certainly it's a challenge to get around that first corner cleanly, because obviously they're all bottlenecking into a very, very tight sort of chicane there, and it's a lot of ambition comes to the front.
Indeed, the Rettifilio chicane, infamous in any kind of motorsport category. But Kyalami provided a really good test last time out. Obviously, don't forget it will be this coming Sunday that we will be back with Monza and Season 3 for GT3, with myself back with Steve Proudley. But also a big thank you to Jack Oliphant for stepping in at a moment's notice and doing an absolutely fantastic job last time out with GT3s at Kyalami. So, Steve, I'm going to ask you a question here. If I can.
Go for it. Go for it. I'm always nervous.
Predict a winner.
I'm always
nervous. Predict a winner or predict a top 3.
Chris Crossman will be in the top 3.
Okay.
I would think Aaron and Steve will certainly be up there as well. I'm not saying, I don't know what order they'll be in, but I would like to say Dave Hedges, Steve Haley, Aaron Walker, and Steve Haley all in the top 4.
Okay. Sounds like those 4 have got a challenge ahead of them.
And now I've said it, you just know that's not going to happen, don't you? The neck's on the line.
Oh, well. What, your neck or theirs?
My neck, because I'll get the abuse when I jump back into the general Discord chat with them.
Well, then at least you've got something perfectly excusable to say to them, which is, well, hang on, boys. I gave you a shout out and you let me down. What was going on?
Yeah, I mean, when you look at the reverse grid, I mean, Richard Emery in second place, he's no slouch, isn't Richard, and he can be consistent. He's not the fastest guy, but he's consistent. And as we saw last week, with Tim Fulbrook got that amazing third place just through being consistent, not making a mistake, just kept putting the laps in. He started high up the grid and he just managed to hold on to it while the others behind him had a few issues. So yeah, there's nothing certain, and it is very difficult to predict anything when you're running a reverse grid. The fast guys coming through are relying on getting the clean passes, and as we saw, Chris Crossman, as I said earlier, he got involved in a few incidents that weren't his fault and he couldn't avoid them. It was just unlucky. So yeah, there's nothing certain, but if everything went smoothly, I would say that would be the top 4. Not quite sure what order.
Very, very true there, Steve. But before we get things underway, I think we're going to have a look at a little trailer ahead of GT3 Season 3 this coming Sunday at Autodromo Nazionale di Monza. So the formation lap is underway for the halfway point of the inaugural Simsport Racing Assetto Corsa Competizione GT4 Season 1 here at Kyalami in South Africa. So the grid looks to be as follows. On pole position will be Johan Pettersson with Richard Emery alongside in the Aston Martin. John Aegis and Mark Neutelings will round out the top 2 rows ahead of Mark Raddenberry and Gavin Utley. Sam Spenkelink in the Alpine will have Angus Martin in the Audi alongside, with Chris Crossman and Adam Isalovic completing the top 10. Kieran Vidago and Regan Mitchell complete row 6 ahead of Dave Hedges and Sim Fulbrook. Cody Pride and Aaron Walker complete the top 8 rows with Ranjiv Kalsi, Michael Haffenden, Gianluca De Luca and Stephen Haley rounding out the top 20. Joel Diaz and Aaron Martin Pilkington complete the top 22, and it looks like Nikola Dobrevski and we've also got Thomas Stanek in the Aston Martin joining us. So 20, well, I think I've also got Reese Wiggin at the 24th position in the Porsche. So the biggest grid I think so far this season. Air temperature 18 degrees Celsius, track temperature 23 degrees Celsius. And Steve, I think in some respects, Aaron Walker being 16th actually gives him a bit more advantage this time, as opposed to being right at the back end of the field. But we've seen through Hungary last time out how clean and precise he was and was making opportunities when other people were tripping all over each other.
Yeah, I think there was a few people tripping up, like you say, over each other. But he's got Cody Pride in 15th. He's got Tim Fulbrook in 14th, Dave Hedges 13th, Regan Mitchell 12th, Kieran Verdago 11th, and none of those are easy guys to pass. I could just keep reading the grid out because they'll all be battling him, and he was. Although it was very good driving from Aaron last week, fantastic racecraft and sort of, like you say, opened the doors and made some opportunities. I think a few people will be a bit wiser to it this week, and it'll certainly give him a bit more of a battle. So hopefully, for us, it'll be more of a battle, and he won't just manage to get straight through to the front and get a gap like he did last week.
We'll see if that does happen as they are getting closer and closer. They're coming down towards the right-hander at Cheetah before Ingwe, which is the final corner, the 16th and final corner, and it will be down to Johan Pettersson and Richard Emery to control the pace on the dual-file rolling start formation. And Reese Wiggin on the top left-hand corner of your screen as the drivers now exit the final corner. As now Emery and Pettersson now starting to control proceedings. Red lights, go green. We are off for 45 minutes here at South Africa. The quick run towards Crowthorne as they'll have a slight right-hand kink just before they hit the braking zone. But Emery gets the jump on Pettersson. Looks like Neutelings up into P3. Aegis up into 4th. Raddenberry towards the outside of the corner as Neutelings takes P3. So they'll go through the Juxcase sweep. And around the outside of Pettersson goes Emery. A little bit further down the field, Cody Pride struggling to get up through as he's trying to go up the inside of the 862 of Tim Fulbrook, who took P3 last time at Hungary. But now, 40 seconds in, and everyone is swarming all over each other. As I can't really keep up with this, Steve, because they're darting left and right, and it's quick for them to quickly make me trip over my tongue, as I am doing at the moment.
Yeah, I mean, it's relatively clean by the looks of what we can see. It's great to see 2, 3 and even 4 abreast in some of the corners, but keeping it clean and trying to get those early positions made up. And it'll obviously just all eyes on those guys in the midfield to see how fast they can come through at the moment.
Yes, very true. As through into Leukop in the lead is Richard Emery, as Neutelings trying to get the run on Johan Pettersson coming out of the corner as they'll head down Mineshaft. So they go through the left-hand sweeper, go down the descent as that's Sam Spenkelink going up the inside of Angus Martin. Oh, Neutelings, I think. Now, was that Neutelings or was that Pettersson that ran wide there? And that was Pettersson because he's now lost out to Gavin Utley. Let's have a look at the replay. As there's a bit of argy-bargy a bit further down the field as the 24 of Stephen Haley gets turned around. And I think that might have been from... That was at the start. There might have been Thomas Stanek, I think, in the 91 that turned him around. So Stanek already causing trouble in the first race that he's competed in. But leading the way by just over 9/10 of a second is Richard Emery, Mark Neutelings, Gavin Utley, Johan Pedersen. And Pedersen trying to keep towards the outside of Utley, going round the outside through Crowthorne. And he was two wheels still on the tarmac as they went through the Jukes K sweep up towards the left at Barbecue. These tracks really do have weird names again.
I'm loving it. You can't beat a good barbecue, but yeah, fantastic. You see racing down into Sunset now, which is a full commitment corner. Is this one? You've got to turn in, wait for the front end grip, and then get straight back on the power. Albeit for a short blast into the clubhouse, which is doing very well there. Everyone's managing to keep it on the track
so far. But yeah, I mean, it's definitely been the right set of temperatures for a barbecue at the moment, hasn't it, Steve? The less of that I say, the better. But the fastest lap of the race, now the drivers are starting to make their way through up towards Loikop, which is on the far side of the circuit. So Emery leads from Neutelings, Gavin Utley up into third place, Johan Pettersson in the 29 Porsche in fourth, as Sam Spenkelink really coming alive in the Alpine, trying to go past the inside of John Aegis through into Mineshaft, but has to wait until the Crocodiles, which is the next right-hander.
Yeah, see, Crossman's up to 7th, started in 9th, Hedges up to 10th, Walker's made it up to 13th. I mean, at the Mr. Haley's back down in 21st after his turnaround in the first corner, so that was unlucky for him. But yeah, the guys, I think Crossman and Hedges and Walker are making similar progress.
As it's nearly 3 wide coming out of the final corner. So we look to have a possible incident here, and I know that Tim Fulbrick's actually he's been turned around and thrown into the wall by Gianluca De Luca. So our podium, our chap on third place on the podium last time out, Tim Fulbrick, now all the way down in 22nd position. You can now see that Chris Crossman and Angus Martin going side by side, so it's Ingolstadt versus Munich. As you've now got Mark Roddenberry just behind, Kieran Vidago. Oh, a little bit of a tussle. And I think Roddenberry's just gone spinning around. Martin got a tap from behind. And was Kieran Vidago involved is the biggest question I have there, because I think definitely Roddenberry got a tap. Martin, I think, got a little bit of contact as well as a result of it. As Spenkelink now all over the back bumper of Pedersen. Let's have a look at this replay here. As this is Istalovic. Oh, going to the side of Price, and then turns around Martin Pilkington and nearly collects Joel Diaz. So there are incidents all over the shop.
Yeah, not always good to see. It was very unfortunate for Pilkington. As obviously had a week away last week, first week back, and was he's a quick driver, so he'll be disappointed now with that. But that's it's nice to see Mr. Crossman's not getting caught up in those incidents, and he's battling his way up the field, as we can see. We've got Pettersson there trying to chase down Utley, and Spenkelink in close contact with him, so quite a good battle developing there. We've got Lily Robertson on YouTube. Good luck, Dad. That's Aaron's daughter. Wishing him all the best. And Aaron, at the moment, he's up to 11th, so he's still making progress. Hedges up to 8th, so he's almost behind Crossman now.
Well, Crossman actually threw it past John Aegis, and that was through Cheetah. And he literally had 2 wheels in the air as Aegis trying to close on the back bumper of the leading BMW. As now I think Tim Fulbrick has dropped down again to 23rd position. But now towards the inside of Crowthorne. Aegis takes a tighter line. Crossman ahead by about a couple of car lengths as they go through the Jukes K sweep. Into the left.
I think Aegis is having to defend as well now from Hedges. That's why he was going to the inside there. I think Dave was threatening him into turn 1. As you can see, he's climbing all over the back of him now. He's itching to get past and follow Crossman through.
I don't think he's the only one trying to get past quickly, because Gavin Utley right all over the back bumper of Mark Neutelings for 2nd position and looks to possibly have an opportunity to close up on Richard Emery. Sam Spenkelink, in the meantime, has set the fastest lap of the race on a 1 minute 51.960. The only driver to go sub 1 minute 52 on this race so far. The closest apart from that are Mark Neutelings in second, Richard Emery in first. Everyone else seems to be a little bit higher in terms of lap time because they're all sort of getting swamped by trying to battle with each other. Maurice Fonson says, good luck, Sem Spenkelink on YouTube.
There's been a bit of an incident because I see Mr. Walker's dropped down to 14th place with Haley in 15th and Mitchell in 16th, so that's 3 quick guys there altogether.
Right. I think there's an incident just being shown on there as, more contact between Aaron Martin Pilkington and Tim Fulbrook. So Fulbrook being dropped down from his pedestal quite significantly twice since we went racing just 7.5 minutes ago, 37 minutes and 19 seconds ago. But you can just see how quickly Dave Hedges is closing up as well. They're all swarming all over the back bumper of Mark Neutelings, who's dropped behind Gavin Utley, who's got past, and Spenkelink going side by side through Crowthorne and through the Jukes K sweep round the outside. The Alpine spins over and then nearly takes out Pedersen, but they managed to collect it, and Chris Crossman is there to say thank you very much, Mr. Spenkelink. That is now fourth place for me.
Yeah, it's nice to see Chris is getting some of the luck this week instead of the bad luck, and he'll take that all night long up to 5th place now and pushing on. He'll be looking for that number 1 spot tonight, I think, knowing Chris. Yeah,
very, very true. But now, at the moment, the lead between Richard Emery and also Gavin Utley is just under 0.3 of a second. Chris Crossman has set the fastest lap of anybody in the BMW, 1 minute 51.333. As they now go over to Leekop. I hope I'm saying that right.
Yeah, it's I call that one turn 10.
Yeah, well, that's the thing. You're just taking the cop-out route here, Steve. Come on.
Absolutely, but I had to commentate the last race without you, and I did try to pronounce it, so I know when I'm beat. But we've got Mr. Haley, who's less than a 100th behind Walker according to the timings. In fact, actually, they've just refreshed and he's dropped, but he's still within a second. So those two are battling close, and obviously Steve's going to hang on to the back of Aaron and see how much progress they can make, but up to 12th and 13th respectively at the moment.
Yep, so just over 53.5 minutes left remaining in this race. And now Gavin Utley hits the front, having started 6th, and is extending that gap. Cody Pride in the meantime. Now, I have a bone to pick with this individual, because he says, I've only just come onto the server, I might not be fast, and everyone else is like, yeah, right, come on Cody, stop sandbagging.
Yeah, there's a lot of that goes on with the old sim. I was talking to Chris Crossman literally half an hour before the race started, and he was telling me how little practice he had, and he was over a second off the pace. Well, yeah, look at him now. I don't think he was. I think he was quicker than he was letting on. Let's just leave it there.
Yes, the less said about that, the better. But now Gavin Utley is pulling away. So it is an Aston Martin 1-2 with Gavin Utley leading from the 115 of Richard Emery. Mark Neutelings in the 666 Mercedes is third. Johan Pedersen in the 29 Porsche trying to fend off Chris Crossman in the number 3 BMW. Sem Spenkelink still in the mix there in 6th position in the 74 Alpine. And it's a little bit of a further gap back to John Aegis, close to about 1.3 seconds. Dave Hedges, Cody Pride and Angus Martin round out the top 10. 1.5 seconds behind the number 31 Audi is Michael Haffenden, the 861 Ginetta. That's a bit brave from Dave Hedges, trying to go up the inside of John Aegis, but that's allowing Cody Pride to close up. But I think if he gets the run through the next couple of corners or so, because they're going to come through Ingwe, through Cheetah, and then, Cody Pride has got an absolute great run. He's going to try and do 2 and 3 corners. He can't get through past Aegis, but he gets past Hedges going through Cheetah. He got an absolutely brilliant run out of there.
Yeah, Dave won't like that. He's going to try and come straight back at him now down here into turn 1. And I never quite know if Dave's been brave or just ambitious sometimes, but he gets the job done. And I'm sure he's going to have a go very quick to get past Cody as soon as he can. In fact, he's gone for the inside now. It's just whether he can hold it. as Cody will have the inside for the slight flick right in the sweep.
Yeah, through Juxkay. And yeah, you were spot on there with your analysis there, Steve, saying that Dave Hedges was going to get the run, and he's going to possibly get it coming through into Sunset. But if he keeps it planted around the outside, he's definitely got the stones to do it. We both know that because we know how hard he worked at coming back at everybody. It's all Pride runs wide, going through the exit of Sunset and into the left at Clubhouse Bend.
Yeah, he's going to keep the pressure on up the S's now and see if he can outbrake him into turn 10 and then down the mine shaft. But it's like you say, Dave's got the skills to do that. It's just whether Cody's going to leave him the room.
A little bit further forward, looks like John Aegis and Sam Spenkelink are going side by side. The Alpines got through, and that was actually on Johan Pedersen for 5th position. So the Alpine really coming alive in this circuit as the two Porsches of Pride and Aegis go nearly side by side coming out through Mineshaft. Now they're going to the run through to the Crocodiles, which is a very tight left-hander. And then Pride trying to look up the inside of Aegis. Going through the Crocodiles, can't get through. Hedges now looking to try and repeat what Pride did to him coming through Cheetah. But Pride very wise to it as Haffenden and Martin side by side going through into Cheetah. But Haffenden gets through in the 861, and just behind you've got Aaron Walker and Stephen Haley. Oh, this is all kicking off very, very quickly indeed as Walker goes up the inside of Martin. It's 3 abreast nearly, just up ahead with Hedges, Pride and Aegis. Oh, this is great racing in GT4s, wouldn't you say, Steve?
Absolutely, hence the silence. I'm just watching. Not the greatest attribute for a commentator, but it's so exciting and it's so close when you see two battles like that so close on the track involving 6 cars and they're going side by side down the straight. Awesome, absolutely awesome race.
Yes, as now Michael Heffenden is going to, if he's going to go flying past Dave Hedges, that is not going to make the Aston Martin driver happy, and that looks to be possibly the case as they've gone through Sunset. Heffenden's got the move done past Hedges. Yeah, Hedges.
Hedges is defending from Aaron Walker now, which is an inter-family battle there. That's his brother-in-law behind him. So he's not going to give him an inch. He's going to make Aaron work for it, I'm sure.
Well, I'm sure that if he gives Aaron an inch, Aaron's going to take a mile. But not if Dave has something to say about it first, as they are literally swarming all over each other. As also Aegis and Pride going up into Loikop go side by side. And then I think Pride might be getting past, or Aegis I think has still kept it. Well, we wait to see as they come down Mineshaft.
Just seen Mark Neutlins has just had an off and he's dropped down to 5th place, which is allowed, obviously Emery's in 2nd, Spenkelink in 3rd, and we've got Crossman's up to 4th now.
Oh, 3 wide coming out of the Crocodiles. On the inside of that was Heffenden. My goodness. Oh, and they go curb jumping through to Cheetah. Oh, my godfathers.
Is this the battle for the lead?
No, this is not the battle for the lead. This is the battle for 6th position. As Heffenden slots back in front of Hedges. Aegis just behind Cody Pride. As Haffenden now trying to get the rundown going into the kink and then into Crowthorne. He's positioning the Ginetta G55 GT4 to try to go in towards the inside, but Aegis defends. Hedges closes up and goes a bit wide there. That allows Aaron Walker to get a bit of a run, but then Hedges keeps the foot planted on the throttle going through the Juxkay sweep. Ran into the left into Barbecue. They're going to go as Walker's still trying to thread the eye of the needle past his relative, Mr. Hedges, very shortly.
I think Aaron was looking for a wider track there as he ran over the curbs and onto the grass, just trying to use every inch and a bit more. Obviously, he's desperate to get past Dave and then make up another position because he's got Steve Haley obviously breathing down his neck. But these guys are all so close and they're driving like it's the first lap. It's absolutely awesome to see. Fantastic driving.
Well, as you say that, the fastest lap of the race is by the driver in 11th position, right up the back bumper of Aaron Walker is Steve Haley. He's just put in a 1 minute 50.427 as Haffenden trying to go up the inside of Aegis there, 4th position. He's going towards the outside of Loikop. That's very, very brave. It's going to tighten very, very quickly. But then he gets a really good run coming down through Mineshaft. This is brilliant. I mean, we said about the touring car race that happened yesterday evening before we came on air that you were watching. But look at this. I mean, oh, Haffenden slips it up the inside of Asius, going through into the Crocodiles. That was perfectly timed by the Genesis driver.
Haley's just gone up the inside of Walker there as well. See if he can make that one stick. As nope, Walker's just cut his nose off and said, "I'm having that one back. Thank you very much."
Well, Daniel Parker on YouTube has just gone, why did I not get a drink before this race started? I can't look away now. Hey, look, I've made sure I made sure I had a big bottle of drink before I started this race, and it's 2/3 drunk already, and it's not alcoholic.
Yeah, Gavin Utley's at the front now. He's just living the quiet life, and he's got a 2-second lead on Richard Emery. Crossman seems to be he's in 4th place, and closing in on 3rd place. So I think he's going to make his way up a little bit more. But this is the battle. This is the one we're watching now. Heffenden's having an absolutely fantastic race and racing very hard, as all of them are.
Yeah, very true. As Heffenden doing what his teammate did. But Spenkelink looks to be ahead of Chris Crossman. This is the battle for P3, the final step on the rostrum. And the pair are literally nose to tail. They're going to be coming through in towards the S's and into Loikop very, very shortly. But I must admit here, Steve, that Sam Spenkelink doing a fantastic job in the Alpine.
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, it's a good car through the twisties, but it's not as quick down the straights. And I think we'll see Chris, if he stays as close as that as they go onto the start-finish straight, definitely he'll get the run onto him into turn 1. It'll be very hard to defend against that BMW.
Yep, as they now come through into the Crocodiles. Both equally well on the brakes. But then we look a little bit further back. Eek. Is all I'm saying when you look from John Aegis to Dave Hedges, Aaron Walker, Stephen Haley, Aaron Martin Pilkington, now up into 12th, Regan Mitchell, then Angus Martin and Joao Diaz. That is an incredible train, and at the moment it looks to be the John Aegis train as they're coming through into the final corner. Ingwe, as Spenkelink going very defensive through into Crowthorne, but can't get the run on Chris Crossman, who now retakes 3rd position and will start trying to chase up ahead Richard Emery.
Yeah, I don't think he had much chance to defend against the BMW there. I say that, he's still fighting back. He's trying to get on the inside there into Barbecue, but no, it was a brave attempt. I think Chris will stretch his legs now and maybe get away from him a little bit. As I say, the BMW is going to power down the straight past him. That's the BMW's strong point, is the straight line speed.
Yep, still plenty of racing still to go. Can you believe, Steve, we've been going for just over 25 minutes. Well, just under 25 minutes. Just
under, yeah. I mean, I was just watching the clock myself then and thinking, bloody hell, can we keep up with this for another 25 minutes? It's absolutely intense. It's crazy. As you say, it's just such a train there. There is no time. Regan Mitchell all over the back of Mr. Pilkington, Mr. Haley all over the back of Mr. Hedges there. It's just nose to tail battling.
As we go into Loikop, on board with Stephen Haley, round the outside of Dave Hedges. And if he gets the run out of the corner through Mineshaft, let's just see, 3rd gear up to 4th. Aaron Martin Pilkington in this sole KTM, not too far behind the Aston Martin as they go through.
Now, good recovery from Steve Haley and Aaron Martin Pilkington, because remember, very early on in the race, I think they both got turned around due to incidents, whether they were their faults or not, I'm not sure, but they've come back from more or less last place to be battling the midfield now and still looking to progress further forward.
Looks like we've got 2 retirements, as that was the little bit of a nudge from Dave Hedges on Aaron Walker through Ingwe. Johan Pedersen and Adam Isalovic out. They are in the pits at the moment. Tim Fulbrook at the moment has recovered up to 17th position. And Adam Isalovic is cheering on Mark Neuterling, saying, go Mark, keep that 5th place. It's good to see that the Simsport community rallies with one another, as Martin Pilkington trying to size up and move on Hedges, who in turn is trying to look up the inside of Stephen Haley. And then Regan Mitchell in the sole Maserati Gran Turismo MC GT4 still keeping with them. He's about a tenth and a half away from the back bumper of the KTM. Oh, Aaron Walker runs wide, but still manages to get up the inside of John Aegis. As it's all kicking off here.
I'm trying to think back to earlier on in the race. I don't recall seeing Dave Hedges involved in an incident, but I'm suspecting he's got damage. And I don't normally make excuses for Dave, but he is dropping backwards, obviously, and he is a quick driver, so I'm thinking he's got some issue. He's got some damage of some sort.
Well, if you could try and send it up the inside of Aaron Martin Pilkington through Loicop like that, I think the damage is not holding him back by any stretch of the imagination, as they're now going to go through Mineshaft and into the right-hand sweeper, and he retakes the position. It's 11th place. As Stephen Haley runs wide, and that allows John Aegis to close up going through the crocodiles. But I think sometimes, and I think you'll agree with me on this, Steve, is that even if they have the slightest amount of damage, it might compromise how the car's running, as Stephen Haley goes very, very wide through Cheetah. And that allows Aegis to go towards the outside of Ingwe. Oh, little touch from behind. Aaron Martin Pilkington into the back of Stephen Haley. And that nearly turns John Aegis around. And Martin Pilkington, the recipient of a multiple place grid drop there as a result. But even with damage, Steve, you can still, in some respects, work with it rather than work against it.
Yeah, sometimes you pick up a little bit of damage and you do a lap or two with it, and you soon start driving around the damage, as it were, and making allowances for it, and you find your lap times don't suffer too much. But I still think, with the way Dave's sort of lost a few positions now, there's definitely he's lost something. And let's face it, you only need to lose a tenth or two per lap compared to some of these guys, and that can cost you dearly in the positions and in the end results.
Well, we're now on to lap number 13 of this 45-minute encounter. John Aegis going up the inside of Stephen Haley. That is for 9th position on the road. Dave Hedges looking to get stuck in. Regan Mitchell not too far behind. Tim Fulbrook now up into 15th position as a result of Aaron Martin Pilkington's slight faux pas going through Ingwe on the... I cannot believe that was... Oh, no, Aegis into the side of Haley, and then gets nearly turned around by Regan Mitchell as a result of that, as Mitchell now trying to get past Dave Hedges for position. But that was incredibly close. I mean, I know that the stewards are going to be incredibly busy after this race, aren't they?
Yeah, the stewards always look at the full replay. We get incident reports from drivers who think they've been involved in something or aren't happy with something that went on, but the stewards actually do look at everything anyway. It doesn't have to be reported. So yeah, that incident will probably get looked at and see if anybody was indeed at fault or whether it was just a racing incident.
Indeed. But at the moment, when they say that you're not talking about the leader, he's doing a pretty good job. Gavin Utley leading by 5 seconds ahead of Chris Crossman.
Yeah, it'd be interesting to see if Chris Crossman can close down on Gavin now that he's in second, and I would like to say clear second, albeit it's only sort of 7-8 tenths, but it's as clear as you can be in some races.
As Aaron Martin Pilkington, Joel Diaz, and now the recovering John Aegis battling over what is 14th position, as now Tim Fulbrook, who tumbled to the bottom of the order a little bit earlier on in the race, well, actually literally within the first 5 minutes, now up to 13th place. So the minute is Utley leading, Crossman second, Spenkelink third, Emery, Neuterlings, Haffenden, Pride, Walker, Haley, Hedges, Mitchell, Stanek, Fulbrook, Martin Pilkington, Diaz, Aegis. And we've got Angus Martin, Kieran Vidago, Rhys Wiggin, Mark Ranbury, Gianluca De Luca, and Nikola Dobrevski, the last of our 22 drivers that actually did start the race and are still circulating with 19 minutes on the clock. Dobrevski looks to have been in the pits.
Yeah, Aaron Walker just did his fastest lap of the race last lap with a 50.7, not quite eclipsing Steve Haley's fastest lap so far of a 50.4, so a little bit of a gap between the two fastest laps there, but yeah, Aaron's certainly pushing now that he's got a bit of clear air.
Yeah, and he's only got Cody Pride just up ahead. Looks to be a little bit of a run wide there, I think maybe from Dave Hedges in front of Regan Mitchell in the number 69 Maserati. It's starting to peter off a little bit now that drivers are starting to get into a rhythm with the first 25 minutes of this race, Steve. Being absolute flotsam and jetsam, there was bedlam everywhere, and we've seen quite a few incidents, but now the drivers are starting to get into some sort of rhythm. Some will start conserving the tyres, waiting until like the last 5 to 7 minutes to really start pushing until the checkered flag.
Yeah, I mean, it's very, very difficult when you're racing in groups like they were there. There was literally a tenth between sort of 4 or 5, 6 cars.
Oh, now we've just seen one hit the wall. That might have been Stanek in the 91 that has just lost out of position. Yeah, that was Thomas Stanek up to 12th place, literally clobbered the wall.
Yeah, very easy to do as you come through that turn 5, which is barbecue. If you just clip that inside curb too hard, you lose traction on the rear end, and that's it. You lose steering. It just turns you, and that's exactly what happens in there by the looks of it.
So he's lost a couple of positions as a result of that. We are now on board with Michael Haffenden in the 861 Ginetta, closing in on the number 666 Mercedes AMG GT4 of Mark Neutelings as they now head into the Crocodiles. Let's see if we can keep on board with this for a little bit, because Haffenden taking a leaf out of his teammate Tim Fulbrook's book from last time out, whereas Fulbrook was keeping people at bay, whereas Haffenden is charging through the field, and he's gone up the inside coming through Ingwe on Mark Neutelings. Aaron Walker not too far behind either, as I could just see in the rear view mirror.
Yes, fantastic move there from Haffenden. And last week, considering he was a DNF last week, I think he had a PC issue. It crashed on him, but yes, good to see him fighting his way up to the front as Aaron's trying to get up the inside of Mark, and that's got the job done. So he's going to cling onto the back of Haffenden and try and push for 5th place. Yeah.
So these three battling away. They're separated by about half a second. Sem Spenkelink in the meantime. I'm looking at the times between him and Chris Crossman here, Steve. Spenkelink last time around was 0.2 of a second quicker than the BMW. So Chris Crossman's second position, I think, is pretty much still under threat, but not just from Sem Spenkelink. Richard Emery in the 115 isn't that far adrift, and I'm looking at his lap times. Okay, he's about half a second off of Spenkelink, but he's still there or thereabouts, isn't he?
Yeah, as I said at the beginning of the race, Richard Emery, he's a very consistent driver. He'll just keep putting the laps in. He's not the quickest man on the grid, but you don't have to be. If you can do similar lap times every single lap, and you're within half a second of the fast guys, you're going to have a good result on a reverse grid. And then, that's exactly what he's doing. He's just focusing. I don't think he won't be focusing on trying to catch 3rd place. He'll just be racing his own race.
So Walker now coming into close proximity of Michael Haffenden as they come through the Crocodiles into the right at Cheetah, and then into the left at Ingwe to go onto the start-finish straight. Good defensive moves there from Haffenden. Now, obviously, him and Tim Fulbrook are some of the newest drivers to join the Simsport Racing community. There are still spaces on the grid for Laguna Seca and for Zoldor, so head to simsport-racing.com and find out how you can get involved.
Yeah, it'd be great to see even more drivers signing up and racing. And if you're liking what you're seeing tonight, then obviously just jump on and sign up and join the practice servers and see how you match up against these guys that are actually doing it tonight on the stream.
So really good to see this battle between Walker and Haffenden. We're going to have a little bit of a replay here. So that is the number 4 of Kieran Vidago having a little bit of contact there with the number 31 Audi of Angus Martin, is now through into Clubhouse. Comes Michael Haffenden. Right on his back bumper is the Porsche, the 99 of Aaron Walker, who's won the first 2 races of GT4 Season 1 so far, taking win at Hungary a week ago, and then the Brands Hatch Grand Prix season opener a fortnight ago.
Yeah, Mr. Haffenden's not slow, but Aaron will be keen to get past him as quick as he can because I think Cody Pride is really putting the pressure on Mr. Neutlings now, and he's going to soon be past him and chasing down Aaron.
Yeah,
You don't want to be much closer than that down the mine shaft.
No, you definitely don't. As Mark Neuterlings now having to battle with Cody Pride, who goes very, very wide coming out of the Crocodiles. That was pretty much well over track limits abuse there, I must admit. As they now go through into Ingwe, into the final corner. 13 minutes on the clock left to go. And Cody Pride...
I'm going to say that was a fantastic exit from Cody. I think he'll have got a bit more speed than Mark coming out of that corner, so he's in pole position to maybe try and make a move. It's just whether he's got the legs on the AMG. Mark's going very defensive, but Cody still managed to find room on the inside and turn it in. Is he going to hold it? No, he's run wide, giving Mark the opportunity to come back.
But through the Jux K sweep, the pair go side by side, and then up towards Barbecue. Neuterlings will have the inside run. But Pride going around the outside and takes a bit of a drift lesson there, but manages to get past the Mercedes. That's a brilliant opportunistic move there from Cody Pride in the 701 Porsche Cayman. But watch out behind you two. Stephen Haley is closing quickly.
Yeah, I think that just went to show the awareness of Mark Neutlings as well. He gave him room, he gave him respect. Even though he lost the position, fantastic driving from both drivers.
Well, Aaron Walker, in the meantime, has now got past Michael Haffenden for 5th place. And just up the road, 3.6 seconds gap between Aaron Walker and now Richard Emery in the 115, as Stephen Haley trying to go door to door with Mark Neuterlings. And Neuterlings saying, no, sorry, mate, you're not getting through yet.
Yeah, you're going to have to work a little bit harder than that, Mr. Haley, I'm afraid.
There's no easy pass through on this one, I'm afraid. So just over 11 and a half minutes to go. Gavin Utley has a lead of 5.253 seconds in front of Chris Crossman. And now the gap between Richard Emery and Aaron Walker for 4th and 5th respectively is about 3.3 seconds. As through into Ingwe, height line taken by Stephen Haley on the inside of Mark Neuterlings, but then he slots in behind the Mercedes. He'll hopefully try and get a good run coming down into Crowthorne, having gone and negotiated their way through the kink. On the top left-hand corner, Gavin Utley, Steve, has just been keeping the blinkers on and just doing the job that he needs to do.
Yeah, very impressive. He's managed to maintain that gap at around 5 to 5.5 seconds since Mr. Crossman got into 2nd place. He's just doing what he has to do. He's got no hassles, no issues. Just needs to keep putting his laps in. He's doing it. He's, dare I say, he's looking good for the win if he can just keep his head down and keep going like he is. I don't think any of the other guys will catch him.
And then Haley nearly going very, very wide coming out. Oh my goodness, through Clubhouse.
Yeah, he's got the job done now, hasn't he? He's going to pull away up through the S's and up into turn 10, and he should that should be him past Mark there, I believe. Yep.
So Stephen Haley will have to try and find about 1.8 seconds in the next 10 minutes. He wants to try and get past Cody Pride. Let's have a look at the replay here. This is the number 91 of Thomas Stanek. Oh, and gets a turnaround. And that was Kieran Vidago in the number 4. I don't know. I don't know what to say about that one.
Ambitious. There was a little bit of ambition there.
I'm going to use an Alex Wirtz quote here that he famously said in the WEC. I just simply ran out of talent.
Yeah, I'll reserve judgment until we've watched it from a couple of different camera angles and in slow motion. And the beauty of when we steward him, we can see pedal inputs, steering inputs, and everything like that. So we can see what a driver's actually done during contact, whether he's lifted off and tried to rectify the situation, or whether he's just kept the foot in and tried to push the guy around.
Well, in many respects, Aaron Walker still pulling away from Michael Haffenden, and he's closing. Look how close he is to Richard Emery. Emery now has got to watch his back bumper as Walker is about a car length or two behind as they now come through Clubhouse up towards the S's. They'll go in just a moment. There's a bit of a run wide by Emery and Walker there, going through Clubhouse.
Yeah,
Down into the S's.
Yeah, Emery's certainly trying hard now, isn't he? He's maybe trying to up his pace a little bit, just to try and keep that position. He's looking at the clock, thinking 8 minutes to go. Can I really keep this? Can I hold the infamous Aaron Walker behind me?
The infamous Aaron Walker.
The championship leader, won the last 2 races, coming from 16th on the grid.
The infamous Aaron Walker.
Absolutely.
Makes him sound like a major criminal, doesn't it?
Well, I don't know much about his past, but he's pretty fast in a car.
Well, I think it's criminal in some respects. How some people might be thinking about, how can he be that good? Right, okay, looks like we're possibly having another incident here. Oh, Mark Gradenbury gets clattered into by Gianluca De Luca, who turns himself around in the opposite direction. But whilst Walker has been closing on Emery, Michael Haffenden has been closing. Quite interesting, this, isn't it?
He's looking for a bit of a slipstream there. He's Mr. Haffenden. The Ginetta needs it. Again, that's not one of the quicker cars in a straight line, but it's certainly good on the brakes and fast through the corners. And Mr. Haffenden is using every ounce of power and stability that he's got there.
I don't think Aaron Walker will make enough hay to get through towards Sam Spenkelink, and you can now see, now there's more contact. That 91 Aston Martin of Thomas Stanek is looking reservedly second hand. I'm sure that won't be a cheap repair bill if that was in real life.
No, and it'll certainly be costing him tenths of a second on the track as well, with the damage that he'll be picking up. It's not always good to see. Could have left a bit more room there maybe for Mr. Vidago to avoid the contact.
I've just seen on the Downforce Racing page, Dan Ashton says, a little bit of contact there, Alex Goldschmidt, and then he's, because my friend Dan Ashton is well known within the karting community, there's a chap by the name of Martin Bean who'll say, what do you think? So thanks for pointing that out, Dan. I said there's and he's also shared, so thank you very much, good friend of mine, Dan Ashton. So yeah, we're streaming on multiple platforms, including Downforce Racing, Let's Race, the Virtual Reality Racing Club pages as well. Stephen Haley, though, looking very, very menacing on the back bumper of Cody Pride here, Steve. And with 5 minutes and 40 to go on the clock, Haley's got an opportunity here of getting himself a bit further up the order, hasn't he?
Yeah, he has, and he'll be looking for an opportunity now. I would imagine into turn 1 he's certainly close enough if he can just get the drag on that Porsche, which I think the Aston will. It's a very quick car in a straight line, is the Aston. He's making it known that he's going to go, but no, he just didn't quite have the legs there. As we see Mr. Knightling's on Dave Hedges in the background having a bit of a ding-dong as well into turn 1.
That's always the way whenever we say, it's a bit of a ding-dong battle going on here. And Hedges up the inside of Neutling's, up for P9, going through into Barbecue. That's making me feel hungry saying that corner now. I've already had dinner.
Yeah, look at Mr. Haley. He's hungry. He's hungry for 7th place. He's certainly chasing down Cody and putting the pressure on him. And that's two drivers of very close ability there, so it's not going to be an easy pass for Steve. He's really going to have to push, as he is doing there, running off the track. As we see a replay here.
Oh, and that's Thomas Stanek spinning out. Oh, and gets... Oh, Gianluca De Luca has nowhere to go and literally T-bones the right front wing of the Aston Martin.
Yeah, it's always as unfortunate as that, and it's not nice to see. But neither driver could do much about that. He'd hit the curb, lost it, and you're just a passenger then, aren't you? It's
even worse when it's in wet weather conditions as well. As now they go down through Mineshaft into the right-hand sweeper on the approach to the Crocodiles.
Just thinking back to the first race at Brands Hatch when Stephen Haley was behind Cody Pride there, battling for 2nd place. It took him 3 or 4 laps to get past Cody. As Cody runs very wide there, and they're just running round now into the final turn nearly.
Yeah, as they've come through Cheetah into Ingwe. Pride having the run on Haley coming out of the corner, but now coming onto the main straightaway. As you can just see how hard they're pushing. Just over 3.5 minutes to go.
Yeah,
And
Steve Haley really needed to take advantage of that opportunity he just had there, because I'm thinking he's another full lap is going to be behind Cody now, and he's only got 3 minutes left to get the job done. And so Dave Hedges is there sniffing down the inside, trying to find an opportunity as well. So he's under pressure from the back as well as trying to make progress forward.
But then also, Cody Pride went a bit wide going in towards the Jux K sweep, and that has allowed Haley and Hedges to claw back. And they're going to go through towards Sunset. Haley's going to keep it pinned to the outside. That's probably going to be hands on heart, the move of the race. If he can keep it planted in, he's going to get it done for Clubhouse Bend. And Hedges trying to look up the inside of Pride at the moment as well. But that's hand on heart, the best move this race so far, with just under 2 minutes and 45 seconds to go. Stephen Haley sweeps around the outside through Sunset on Cody Pride to take 7th position.
Yeah, and I bet he was holding his breath all the way to the S's there as well, because that certainly wasn't a move for the faint-hearted. That was commitment. Fully
committed, as here is Michael Haffenden, also fully committed on trying to get past Richard Emery up towards the Crocodiles. Up the inside goes the Ginetta for 5th place with 2 minutes and a quarter still to go. Haffenden in the 861 Ginetta. Now up into P5 once again. But then Emery gets a real good run. I think Haffenden must have just had a little bit of a problem there applying the throttle. But the Aston Martin absolutely blitzed its way past, coming out of Cheetah.
Yeah, it was very unusual. That was, like you say, there was something, either a miss or a misjudgment from Haffenden, whether he just lifted or braked early, I'm not sure. But yeah, the Aston really blasted past them. Crossman's still 5 seconds behind Utley, so you would have to say Mr. Utley's done the job tonight. He's just stayed out of trouble and kept his head down.
Yeah, as now we see a few of the battles a bit further down the order, as Cody Pride has now been dropped by Stephen Haley to the tune of around 0.8 of a second. Cody Pride in 8th. There's Dave Hedges in the 88 Aston Martin trying to close down on the 701 Porsche Cayman. Mark Neusling's running out the top 10. Regan Mitchell in the 11th placed Maserati, as once again Michael Haffenden going through Clubhouse trying to get past the number 115 Aston Martin of Richard Emery. Emery still getting onto the racing line quite nicely, going through into the S's. But again, Haffenden still keeping very nicely planted through the twisty stuff as they go towards Loicott. Haffenden towards the outside, looking to possibly do the cutback if he can through this corner, and gets a tighter run coming out of the corner. Down into Mineshaft they go. He slots in behind the Aston Martin and now has to use the momentum going through the sweeper, heading up towards Crocodiles once again. And this is where he got past Emery last time, and this time he gets through, takes the tighter line, gets a good run coming out of the corner. Emery this time not able to respond in the way that he did last time. However, looks like the leader has now gone on to the final lap of the race with about 12 seconds on the clock remaining. And that is Gavin Utley. Chris Crossman still nearly 6 seconds adrift. So the timer will now expire. That is it. Time's up for 45 minutes of racing here at Kyalami in South Africa. That's now Gavin Utley up through in towards Barbecue for the final time. Pride at the moment being chased down by Hedges, and that is for 8th position. But I think Cody Pride here, Steve, has done enough to keep the 88 at bay.
Yeah, I do too. As we just see there, Gavin Utley bringing it home. Fantastic drive from Gavin. Silent assassin, we don't hear much from him week in, week out, but he's always there in the midfield, so good to see him. He's going to get the win tonight. He well deserved, because he's stayed out of trouble, he's kept his head down, he's hit the apexes, and he's just done the lap times. He's been lapping around the 51s, and he's still his best lap was a 51.09. His last lap was a 51.09, so you don't get much more consistent there, really.
By about 0.003 of a second. As Dave Hedges still trying to force the issue with Cody Pride, nearly tried to take a leaf out of Stephen Haley's book a couple of moments ago, going around the outside of Sunset, but couldn't get it done and couldn't get through on Clubhouse. But now as they go through Loicott, through into there for the final time, Hedges looks towards the outside of the Porsche. Price to the inside, takes the tighter line. Hedges will now try and sweep around and get the cut through down into Mineshaft. But I think he's fast running out of time. There's now Gavin Utley coming around the final corner. I think he's now going to take the checkered flag this time around. Let's see if we can quickly switch back. And this time, Gavin Utley has crossed the line and taken the win. 2 different winners out of 3 different races. As Crossman takes second, Spankelink takes third. Aaron Walker, Michael Haffenden ran out the top 5. Richard Emery will cross the line in 6th place, ahead of Stephen Haley. And Cody Pride will hang on by just over 3/4 of a car length ahead of Dave Hedges. Mark Neuteling's in 10th place, ahead of Regan Mitchell. Then Aaron Martin Pilkington, Joel Diaz, John Aegis, Angus Martin, Kieran Vidago, Reese Wiggin, Mark Randenbury on your screens in the 75 Ginetta G55 GT4 will come across the line, being followed by the very front-end battered Audi of Gianluca De Luca in the 135. Hasn't been a great race for Tim Fulbrook, unfortunately, as he will very soon be coming across the start-finish line in 20th position, a far cry from 5th position, 3rd position last time out. Here is the 862. We'll now start to look to come back at the next round at Laguna Seca with Tomasz Stanek and Nikola Dobrevski rounding out the 22 that eventually finished the race.
Yeah, some great racing this evening there from the boys. Good to see, like I say, Gav taking the well-deserved win. Mr. Crossman going against his run of bad luck in the last race and had a bit of luck tonight and managed to get up to 2nd. Well-deserved. Aaron managed to make it up to 4th. So yeah, good race from Aaron to say that he was, I think he'd had an incident at, early on in the race and dropped right down to around about 18th, I think it was.
Yeah, so hopefully we might be able to get to speak to some of our top 3. But here at Kyalami, another great race. GT4, Steve, is truly a part of Simsport Racing, wouldn't you agree?
Yeah, it's fantastic racing and Laguna Seca to come. So, you know, what's not to get excited about? The reverse grid certainly keeping the championship alive to some extent. I know Aaron's got a little bit of a lead up till tonight with winning the previous 2 races, but certainly everybody else, as you say there's guys that have finished 5th last week and 3rd last week are finishing 15th, 16th and 20th. You know, it really shakes them up. We had Regan Mitchell there, who's consistently been sort of a top 6 finisher. I think he was 11th tonight. So yeah, the points are getting well shared out amongst the drivers.
What I'll do now is head down to the interview booth to speak to some drivers. Right, well, firstly, congratulations to our round 3 winner, Gavin Utley. Gavin, congratulations.
Thank you very much, cheers. really enjoyed that one. But yeah, that was a warm one, was that?
Yeah, I think in many respects, the first 2 races really didn't go to plan, but here in South Africa, very different kettle of fish.
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, to be fair, this is one of these tracks where I absolutely love it. It's got great flow, and it just, yeah, I'm sure if I hadn't started from 6th, I might not have been up at the front that far, but yeah, really happy I could keep the pace up towards the end as well with Chris gunning for me. So yeah, really happy with that.
And also the fact that you've broken the Aaron Walker streak. I think that's another thing to laugh about there, isn't it?
Yeah, that's another trophy for the mantle piece, isn't it?
That's a notch to add to your tomahawk, my friend.
I'll take that one. Thank you very much.
No problem at all. Well, congratulations, Gavin Utley, our GT4 Season 1 Round 3 winner.
Cheers.
Next up, Chris Crossman. Well done. 2nd place. I know it's a bit of a tall order to try and catch up with Gavin in the latter stages. He had quite a significant lead, but you had some very good battles of your own, didn't you?
Yeah, to be honest, I enjoyed the actual race. I mean, they were battling throughout, and it's obviously very different when you're all rearranged in different order. So yeah, you just have to see what comes. But it was a great race. When I actually managed to get up, to be honest, Sem and Gavin were putting in good lap times. Like I'm not really excelling in the GT4, to be honest. So I was happy that I was up in the podium positions, and I got a bit lucky that Sem made a little mistake for me to actually be close to him, because my car's a lot faster in the straights than his, so it's easier for me to overtake him, whereas where he's behind me, even though some laps he was a bit faster, he couldn't quite get past. But had some great battles throughout, until the end. I was just watching Gavin. Me and his laps were about the same, and then towards the end I started to make a few mistakes and he was just pulling away a bit. So I can't complain with second place. It was a good race.
Well done, Chris. And obviously, all the very best of luck for Laguna Seca next week.
Cheers, man.
Last but by no means least, the sole Alpine driver out of the field, Sem Spenkelink. Congratulations, you're on the podium, well done.
Yeah, thank you very much.
So, you made your debut at the Hungaroring last week, and the Alpine, let's be completely honest, wasn't as competitive in the straight lines, but we saw at Kyalami this evening that the Alpine was completely different animal. Very good through the sweeping fast corners, very good on the brakes. I think at one point you were even setting the fastest lap out of anybody. What was your tactic coming into here at Kyalami this week?
Yeah, I don't really get much practice on the GT4s, and I just bought the pack like right before the Hungaroring race. So I was like just gonna pick a car and see what goes. Obviously found out that the Alpine isn't as fast in a straight line, but also like really off the corners, like the initial acceleration there, it's just where it like really loses with that tiny engine. But at Kyalami you have those fast flowing corners, and there it squats down and really has that grip. So I saw that I was fast in the fast corners, and really especially the fast left-hander like corner 4 or so. So that was where I got my time, and then I knew to overtake some other cars, I just had to kind of piggyback with someone else and be close, and then catch my moments there, because on the straights, no chance. But luckily it turned out well.
Well, fingers crossed things work that way at Laguna Seca in just 7 days' time, Sem. But congratulations, well done for your third place finish this evening.
Cheers.
Well, that was quite an insight there, Steve, wasn't it, from all three drivers? Sem saying having to sort of latch onto the back of somebody else to get the momentum, get the slipstream. But that car, that Alpine, is a bit of a dark horse, isn't it?
Yeah, I mean it's like the Ginetta really, in the respect that that's not the quickest in a straight line, although the Ginetta is a bit quicker than the Alpine, I believe. But yeah, the right driver behind the wheel, if he can drive it to its strengths as he did this evening, then he's going to pick up the positions and he's going to get the results. It's like Regan in the Maserati with no assists. He's doing very well in that car, So if a driver picks a car, he sticks with it, he puts some practice in. Usually you can work to its strengths and you can start to extract that performance from the car, which they're doing, and it's good to see. And it varies, there's a car out there for your driving style. Really, it's finding the right car for your style.
Very, very true there. There's a car out there for everybody.
Yep, and Simsport welcomes anybody. We'll take anybody in, and we'll, like I said earlier, it's a community for racers. So if you fancy racing with the GT4s, jump on the website, follow the link to Discord, sign up, jump in the chat rooms. You'll have a laugh with the boys. Everyone's got a great sense of humour, and you before you know it, you'll be getting live streamed and hopefully battling for some strong finishes.
Indeed. So that's it for coverage of the Simsport Racing Assetto Corsa Competizione GT4 Season 1 Round 3 at Kyalami. Next week we head to California to the WeatherTech Raceway Laguna Seca with the infamous corkscrew. Before I forget, don't forget that this coming Sunday we will have the halfway point of Assetto Corsa Competizione Season 3, GT3, Round 5 at Monza. On behalf of myself, Alex Goldschmidt, and Steve Pradley from Simsport Racing, Thank you for watching. Stay safe. Have a great evening, and we'll see you this coming Sunday night.